Hey, what is up, guys? It is your boy, Kingdom Soldier, and I'm back again with another commentary. Now, I had this done. It was ready to go. All I had to do this morning was render it because the sticks was rendering overnight and it was taking like 3.5 hours. It still had an hour left at 2 o'clock in the morning, so I just went to bed. And so this video was done. And then I went this morning to render it and the audio was shot. So instead of using my Blue Snowball, I had to come in my bedroom and use my Logitech headset. But if you guys didn't see the sticks, by the way, yesterday with Golden Boy, one of the best episodes of the sticks we've ever done. We talked about everything. We talked about competitive Call of Duty, how it needs to move forward. We talked about banning the Vector. Even Hitch mentioned banning the Remington, and we talked about all the matches at UMG, who was the best player, best team, how Denial won, all that kind of stuff. Great episode of the Sticks. If you have the time, I would definitely give it a watch. Nevertheless, what went down yesterday with Karma? Twitter went bananas after Karma tweeted. He said, "Do you want me to just tell you guys because everything, it seems like there's something going on. You want me to just tell you what's going on?" And of course, everybody's like, "Yeah." And so Karma tweeted that he does not want to play with EG anymore. He said that they were going to drop him because he didn't go to the ESL event, the Advanced Warfare event. He didn't go because he wanted to be around for his daughter's birth. Now, of course, in the immediate future, Aches was like, "I'm not even dealing with this with you. That is just a load of crap," except he used other words, and he was like, "That's this. We're not even going there." And so Karma said, "Look, TP told me in California when we were together, he told me that Crim and Aches, that the other two wanted to drop me. That's what they wanted to do." He's like, and so at this point, it's a respect thing. I can't play with these guys. And Crimsix got on and responded and said, "The truth video will be up tomorrow." So today, there will be a video going up. I think it might be a dual com between Aches and Crim talking about what actually happened. And what Crim said when people asked, "Well, why are you doing a video? Whatever. If he's not telling the truth, just tell us what's up, blah, blah, blah." And what Crim says is that he said very maturely, he said, "I learned from the Clayster situation," because they allowed Clayster to say everything. They just kind of stepped back and said, "We don't want you to look bad. We don't want us to look bad. So we're just going to step back and let you do your thing." And Clayster said whatever he wanted to say about the situation when he got dropped from Complexity, and Complexity really didn't say anything. And so this time, what Crim is saying is that we learned from that situation. We're going to tell the truth right now. We're going to get it all out and let it be what it is. And I was very happy about that. I got to say, there was not a lot of bickering back and forth between Crim, Aches, and Karma on Twitter. Now, can Karma leave EG? That is the first question that people started asking. Is that even possible with where we're at in Season 3? Adam Apicella responded on Twitter and said, yes, all the way until September 19th, you can make trades. However, you can only trade subs. You can't trade starters. So they could make Fears a starter and Karma a sub and trade Karma for another sub. Now, technically, if that's the truth, I don't know why they don't just let them trade starters, because then teams would just trade their starters to a sub so they could get Karma. Where can Karma go? Well, there's a lot of options, and there's a lot of rumors flying around right now. So the biggest rumor that everybody heard is that Formal would go to EG. Now, I think that's possible. I think that Formal has stated in the past that he's in gaming to make money. He's in gaming to make money and win. I'm not saying that Envy isn't going to win anymore, but I do, and I'm not saying that's bad actually. Of who isn't in gaming or in their competitive sport to win. And once you start doing it for a living professionally, you also probably want to make money. So it's not bad that Formal wants to win and make money. It's just like most pro players. The reason why when Optic opens up a spot, everything goes crazy. Roster mania happens. If Optic or Envy opens a spot, because most people would go there due to their sponsorships, they're probably going to make more on those teams. And so Formal could go, but if Formal went to EG, Karma's not going to go back to Envy. Probably. So what people are saying, the rumor is that Formal goes to EG, Karma goes to Optic, and Proofy goes back to Envy. Now, some people have stated that Karma's just going to go straight to Optic. If you guys follow Keemstar, Drama Alert, he said that Karma will be playing for Optic next year. And so if Karma goes to Optic, Is it for Nade to retire? I don't think so. And I'm going to say that. I think that Nade stated he was going to retire due to pressure and stress. Now, unless he has something else he wants to do, because the pressure and the stress really isn't on him right now. It's on Clayster and Proofy. Nade has been playing his best. He outslayed, I think he had a higher KD than Scumpy in the last event. Nade is just playing his best, and he's getting better each event with Call of Duty Ghosts. And I think because of the roles on Optic, it actually puts Nade in a position where he can be more successful. So I don't know if him retiring is actually in the cards. I think he might play AW. But people have heard the rumor, and Golden Boy stated it on stream yesterday, is that Formal is one of the best AW players out the gate. Is that Formal was just a beast at the LAN event for Advanced Warfare. And so would EG try to pick him up? In my opinion, yes. Now, Merc has stated that that's not going to happen, that Formal ain't going nowhere. But Envy has thought players weren't going anywhere in the past, and then they just left, like Proofy, like Scumpy. Players have just left Envy to go, or Goonjar going back to TK. It's like players have left Envy just because they don't want to be on Envy anymore. Now, I'm not saying that I'm sure that Formal's going to do that. What do I think is going to happen? I'm pretty sure Karma's not going to play for EG anymore because he stated that he doesn't want to. And why would you want a player on your team that's not going to play anymore? And I do believe that EG is going to go after Formal. Now, the last scenario is that FaZe could take Karma and give Dito to EG. And that's an actual scenario that could happen, because we all know that back when Dito was on SB and he found out that Censor and those guys wanted to drop him to pick up Formal, Dito wanted nothing to do with them. He didn't want to play with Censor ever again. But then like 3 weeks later when FaZe Black was formed, he wound up on FaZe Black with Censor. So I don't know if him and Censor are now buddy-buddy, if they've kind of rekindled the flame. But I would guess that Dito would be happy to get himself another opportunity on a different team. He's proven that in Call of Duty Ghost, he can do his job. He's a good slayer in Call of Duty Ghost. I don't know if that would mix things up with their team, but I actually think the way that their team plays, Dito would be a good person. He'd be a good swap for Karma, in my opinion. So we'll see what happens. You guys let me know in the comments what you think is going to happen, where you think people are going to go. It should all kind of iron itself out over the next couple of days. The reason, though, is it's going to be slower than usual, is that you can't just sketch on a team anymore. You can't just trade a player. You have to follow the rules of the season if you want to stay in the season. Now, if EG doesn't care and wants to roll out on the season because they've had their run-ins with MLG anyway, and they're just like, we don't want to be in the season. We're 8th place. We might not even make top 8, so we're just going to bounce out, and we're going to do what we want. We're going to trade who we want, where we want, when we want. That could happen. EG is EG. They could do it. This is your boy, Kingdom Soldier, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.